Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You are cracking me up. I didn't even know you knew my middle name was Jamal. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was right after you invited me to meet the dog.
All right, now I got to ask you this. Okay, so you're a Christian comedian. Now that's a whole nother world. I mean, because some comedians. I mean, let's be honest. You watch comedians, and I love them. They're hilarious. But so many times, man, they go in and just the language and the topic and all this craziness. And so you're funny, and you are towing the line. I appreciate that. I mean, it's hilarious. It's clean, and it's good, and it's not hokey. Can we say that? I mean, let's be honest. It's not.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's good stuff. So let me ask you this. What is the difference between performing in the church and a comedy club? What's the difference between that?
The biggest difference is that when I'm in a church, I can get specific about what I know about the Bible. Okay. And in a comedy club, I have to be more generic. Like there's a verse in the Bible that says, Paul said, it is better to not be married. I'll do a joke about it, and in the church, I'll say, Paul said it's better not to be married. Church people will laugh because it's like, you act like you and Paul went to high school together. You talking to him. If I say Paul said it's better not to be married in the club, they're like, who is Paul? Is that your uncle? I mean, what? So in a club, I have to say the Bible says it's better not to be married. And they'll go with me because most of them ain't been in church. They're like, if Bone said it, I guess it's true. Because clearly he knows more about the Bible than me. Can I get another Jack Daniels while I'm listening to him? So that's where you really just got to bring it to a language that you're not talking over their heads.
I love it too because, what you just said is so powerful because Jesus, he hung out in the marketplace. He hung out with people. He wasn't in church all the time.
Exactly.
So he was hanging out with people that, that we would say are of ill repute, they're not the people that we should be hanging out. My mom told me I should be hanging out with. I shouldn't know supposed to go hang out with you. And yet God called you to go directly into the middle of this group of people. And what a great way to do it. What a unique gift that God has given you. And you're funny, man. You are funny.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, that's true. And such a unique thing to go into clubs like that. What's the difference between being a Christian comedian, a church comedian, and, a clean comedian? Are there differences between those? Because
I always go through this. I do a club, and somebody always be like, man, why you gotta tell them you're a Christian comic, man? Just tell them you clean. First of all, I don't want to be a ninja Christian.
Right.
Okay? Jesus wasn't a ninja Messiah. So I want them to know that at some point I'm going to mention Jesus. Now, I break it down as Christian comedians, church comedians, and a clean comedian that can do a church. Now, a church comedian, most of their content and everything they talk about is church stuff. So if you haven't been in church, you're not going to really know anything that they're talking about because it's church-based.
Gotcha.
Christian comedian is a comedian that tells jokes from a point of view of a Christian. And as Christians, we live everyday lives. We go through the same thing that everybody in the world goes through. Yeah. We just go through it from a Christian perspective. Yeah. So my job is to go into a comedy club just like everybody else's job. He's a black comedian. He's a white comedian. He's Latino. She's female. He's a midget comedian. Whatever it is, they talk about. It's midgets in the club. Don't look at me like that, okay? And they be getting it. They getting theirs in, okay? And they telling it from their point of view. And so what happens is the Christian point of view gets lost. So me and my colleagues, we have to go in the club and tell the joke from a Christian perspective so we can have a voice in our entire entertainment field as comedy. So a Christian comedian just talks about it from a Christian perspective. Now we might throw something in there that may be over somebody's head, but it's the same thing. Women talk about stuff all the time. I have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, my mother in comedy, Shonda Pierce, will do 20 minutes on menopause. I'm like, what are you talking about? So there's going to be some points that I hit some things that maybe regular Joes don't know, but my goal is do 95% of the show that they can catch on to. Now, you got clean comedians that can perform in churches. Now, sometimes churches just want a night of entertainment. Mm-hmm. Like, there's really nothing else to it. It's like, we done did bingo. We done did bowling. We can't afford Bone. So we just need somebody who ain't gonna cuss. And you got clean comedians that can come in, fill that 30-minute slot, and it's just a clean comedian that can perform in the church. They ain't gonna pray with nobody afterwards. You gotta get them out real quick. But they're a clean comedian that can perform at the church. And so that's my breakdown of church comedian, Christian comedian, clean comedian. I'm a Christian comedian.